want you, baby, every single drop. I need you for my own and I won't stop.
Hey everyone, today I bring you this really, I want to call it brightening look. It's using some purpley tones that are more blue tone as well as a blue liner. And if you don't know, blue tones always make white brighter. So it's going to make the whites of your eyes look brighter. It's going to make you look more awake and fresh and ready to go. So it's going to be great for just like any summer day, really any time of year. My idea was to use these purpley tones because I've been absolutely obsessed with them, having some purple on my eyes, specifically my Maybelline color tattoo in painted purple that I picked up not too long ago. I've just been wearing it as much as possible. I love the way it will bring out purple colors that maybe aren't as pigmented as they could be, and it will also make your neutral tones that have purple tone undertones look more purpley in tone. So it's really great, and I think this look would especially look great on brown eyes, but I like what it's doing for my kind of grayish, greenish, bluish, whatever color my eyes are. So yeah, if you want to see how I got this look using this color tattoo and the Petal Pusher palette by Wet n Wild as my main two eyeshadow things, then please stay tuned. Okay, so the first step, like I said, is a base. This is the Maybelline color tattoo in painted purple. It's a very blue tone purple. I was always hesitant to buy this one because when they first came out, I heard this one was like the least pigmented one, but I find it pretty pigmented. I mean, as you see when I put it on, it's a little patchy, so I don't know if I'd recommend it for someone to use as like if you're just putting this on and nothing else. But as a base for eyeshadows, it works beautifully, and I love what it does for all my purpley eyeshadows. And my main palette today is the Petal Pusher palette by Wet n Wild. I've used this many times before. If I can remember which looks I've used it for, I'll try to remember to link some of those below for you. But I think this is a beautiful palette from the drugstore. Personally, I prefer this one to the Comfort Zone palette just because I think all of the colors work well together, while the Comfort Zone is kind of like there's a few combos, but beyond that, not so much. And they're not all super pigmented, but with this base, they're going to be brought out really well. Another thing I love about this palette, which you'll see me using these in a second, is that it comes with a transition color and a highlight color, both of which are satin or matte finishes and work really well with the rest of the palette. So I'm going to hop in first with that transition-y color. It doesn't look like much in the pan, but it really does add a nice dimension to the crease and just a little bit of definition. So I'm buffing that through the crease, just building it up to my desired level of deepness, and then going to buff it out with a blending brush. Next, I'm going to go in with an angled eyeshadow brush and that highlight color, the matte one. It's the brow bone color on the more blue tone side of it, and I'm going to use that to highlight my brow bone and inner corner. I love this color because it's kind of a matte-ish white with a purple duochrome. It's not incredibly apparent, but it just works really well with the rest of the palette, so I love that. Now the main lid color I'm using is the other brow bone color in this, which is a gorgeous metallic pinky color. I think I've heard this compared to CD Pearl by MAC. Actually, all of these colors in this palette, I've heard people compare to matte colors. So it's a really great palette if you're trying to get some purple tones and don't want to spend, you know, the $11 or so on each eyeshadow. So I'm using that, and I'm applying it with my fingers because I find that's going to make it more metallic and give it more of an impact. And I'm packing that on the inner half of my lid and inner corner over that base. It's just going to really pop, and it's still going to look light and bright, but it's going to bring out the undertone of purple more. On the rest of the lid, I'm going to take this color down here. It's a purple with a very strong blue duochrome. It's not very pigmented, but it's almost the same color as our base we're using, so it really does help bring it out. And I'm just going to put that on the rest of the lid and use my brush to blend it into the other color I have on the lid. Next, I'm going to define that outer corner using a pencil brush. I am going for a bit of a cat eye shape today, but using no colors that aren't like blacks and browns. Although I say that, but I'm about to use a color that is a black. It's a black color with a silver shimmer. It's similar to MAC's Black Tide, and I'm going to pick that up on the pencil brush. And what I'm doing with that, it's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully you can see in the clip, I'm taking it on the outer V area, but not the whole V. I'm just doing the crease part of it. I'm not trying to pull that color too far down. I just want to define the crease a little, kind of like you're doing a cut crease, but less it's not going to be a cut crease. I'm going to blend it out, but the initial motion is similar. To blend that out and kind of fill in the rest of that crease socket line with this color in here, which is the definer color right above that blue tone one we used, and this is kind of just a true cool tone purple. And I'm going to use that, like I said, to buff out the rest of that crease line. And then I'm going to go in with a blending brush and really buff that out. I don't want a harsh line, I just wanted that definition from it. So I'm going to buff it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend out that crease that we just did using our definer color again. Or not definer, our, transition color again. So I'm using that to blend out the line. And then this step is totally optional, but I wanted to add just a bit of warmth, and I think it really does kind of help to blend out all of our purples and make it very wearable. I'm using a bronzer for this to keep it simple. This is my Essence Sunclub bronzer for brunettes, just the one I use on my face, whichever one you like will do. I'm just taking that and blending it kind of right above where I did that transition color just to warm up the look a little bit. And then it's time to touch up our lid color. So I'm going to start in with that blue toned purple and touch up the outer corner, and then I'm going to also do the same with the lighter color on the inner bit. And then moving on to the lower lashes, I'm going to obviously want to tie those in. So I'm taking a combination of the two bluer toned purples right here that I used on my pencil brush, and I'm going to buff those under my lower lash line. And like I always do with my lower lashes, I really buff it out with a clean blending brush. It's going to keep it from looking too harsh, and once you have your mascara on, it's going to kind of look a little hazy, and it really flatters all eyes, I think. I decided to opt for a liquid liner because I love the way that looks with these hazy colors. It just adds a little definition back. But rather than using a black or brown, I used a dark blue. This color looks really bright in the packaging, but it's actually a very wearable mid-toned dark blue. It pops a little more, as you'll see in like the photos I took, but in real life it doesn't necessarily look like you're wearing blue liner. This is the Prestige Total Intensity Against All Odds Liquid Ink Eyeliner in All Nighter. That's a long name. I love the way this looks. I haven't used it in a tutorial yet, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it today. It's really easy to apply. I went with a decently thick line just all the way across our lash. And then I wanted to put something in my waterline just because I like the way that looks on me better than having nothing there. And so what I opted for, just so it wasn't anything incredibly intense or harsh, I just went with a purple color. But I went with a warmer purple color, which will just kind of offset all the rest of these tones in our eyes nicely. This is the Rimmel Scandaleyes eyeliner in purple. I'm using the Maybelline Pumped Up Colossal and just getting a nice coat of that on top and bottom, and that's your finished eye look. Now onto cheeks and lips. I wanted to keep them very simple. I've mentioned this many times before, but my favorite blush color with a purple look on the lid is a peachy color. This is the Essence blush in Sweetheart that I can't stop talking about. It's actually kind of leans more pinky peach on your cheeks versus peachy pink, if that makes sense. It kind of has more pink tones than your average peach, and I'm just popping that on the cheeks. Now the lips, I wanted to keep them very simple as well, so I'm just going with a gloss. This is the NYX Butter Gloss in Madeleine. I like the way it looks over a nude lipstick, but I'm really also like the way it looks over my natural lips. It kind of keeps them with that natural color, but tones down the redder tones of my lips a little bit and adds a nice gloss. So it really does complement our more dramatic daytime eyes. Okay, that is the finished, I don't know what I'm calling it, like violet something look. I love the way this turned out. I think it's going to brighten up any eye. I love when I get to do these tutorials using really affordable products and show you what they can do, because all of these products are what I would consider on the cheaper side of drugstore makeup versus like L'Oreal, Maybelline. I mean, well, I did use Maybelline, but you know, I love me some L'Oreal and Maybelline, but when I could use stuff like Wet n Wild, Essence, NYX, I love to do that for you guys because it's very affordable and it really does get the job done. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like below, subscribe to see more from me. I'll be back in 2 days with a new video. Until then, talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye!